The US built an entire city under the ice, and for decades almost no one knew about it. This wasn't just any city. It had living quarters, a cafeteria, a gym, labs, and even a nuclear power plant. But here's the craziest part. It was all buried beneath 26 feet of ice in the middle of Greenland. And while the world was told it was just a research station, the real reason behind this project was something far more secretive. Back in the 1960s, during the Cold War, the US military launched what they called Camp Century. On the surface, it was meant for scientific research on Arctic conditions. But behind the scenes, it was part of a hidden mission called Project Iceworm. The goal? To build an underground system that could potentially store and launch missiles right under the ice. Now, let's talk about how they actually built this. Engineers used massive machines to dig tunnels through the ice, creating an underground city unlike anything seen before. The base had everything: barracks, a kitchen, medical stations, and even a small church. But the most groundbreaking part? A nuclear reactor, making Camp Century one of the first Arctic bases powered this way. For the people stationed there, life was surprisingly comfortable. They had warm rooms, hot meals, and even movie nights. Some passed time playing chess or trying to connect with family using ham radios when the signal cooperated. Sounds pretty futuristic for its time, right? But then came a major issue, one that would ultimately shut everything down. The ice was constantly moving. Over time, the tunnels began to collapse. Engineers realized it was too risky to maintain the base. By 1967, just 7 years after it began, Camp Century was shut down. The power source was removed, but much of the base was left behind, frozen in place under the ice. Here's where things get serious. Back then, no one expected the ice to ever melt that deep. But today, scientists say it's happening faster than anyone predicted. And that means everything left behind, equipment, materials, and other waste, could eventually resurface. And if that wasn't enough, research teams drilling deep into the ice found something even more startling. Signs that Greenland was once ice-free about 400,000 years ago. That means if temperatures keep rising, history could repeat itself. If the ice sheet melts completely, sea levels could rise drastically, putting major coastal areas around the world at risk. So now, we're left with a huge question. What happens when a Cold War project, buried and forgotten, begins to reappear? And who should take responsibility for it before things get worse? Let me know what you think. Should the US step in to deal with what's left under the ice? And if you enjoy hidden history and unbelievable true stories, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more.